So, heads up. I made this video a few weeks ago, right when Chapter 1 of Candy Flurry had already come out, and it's been a while since then. There's already 6 chapters out. So, what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna make 2 parts, this being part 1, and part 2 will review the chapters that have released afterwards. I wanted to give one big impression. I feel like I could do a better job of that if I review the rest of the chapters, and you'll see as you watch the video. But yeah, I hope you enjoy it, and look forward to seeing part 2 whenever I have it out. But yeah, enjoy the video. So, Weekly Shonen Jump has come out with a new manga series. It really caught my attention when it first got announced. I don't know what it is, but there was just something about it that made me want to read it. And it's funny too, since I thought I wouldn't really read any new series after Samurai 8 and a certain other series that shall not be named got cancelled. Obviously, both got cancelled due to different reasons, but it still sucks having to get invested in a series and having it cancelled due to one reason or the other. But despite that, I decided to give this a chance because it caught my interest. So here I am reading the first chapter to this new series. The series is called Furu, aka Candy Flurry. The story is by Takaguchi Ippon, while the art is by Mitarashi Santa. From what I understand, this series is supposed to be a battle comedy series, which is great since I tend to enjoy series like that. That's actually kind of funny too, because I told myself I wouldn't start a new series from Western Shonen Jump from Chapter 1, like I said earlier. I mean, because I'm still bummed out about Samurai 8. But yeah, but there's just something about this that just made me want to read it. The premise in itself is interesting. We're immediately given a background on the events of the series, which involves a company known as Toy Toy Candy, which advertise 100 pieces of limited edition candy where each of them share a unique surprise. No two are alike, so they tell everyone to get the right one for them. It's then after where it's revealed those who did get one of the 100 pieces gain the ability to conjure up candy. It's then revealed that one of the people who did eat it managed to decimate all of Tokyo. It's so destroyed and covered in candy that they have no plans to rebuild the city. The only thing we know about the individual who destroyed it is that they're a lollipop user. I will say that the premise in itself is pretty cool. Seeing characters with the ability to use candy and sweets isn't anything new, but having an entire story revolved around that is pretty unique. And it has potential. The main character of the story, Tsumugi Minase, is also pretty interesting. She's a lollipop user, which is odd because we're told in the beginning the one who destroyed the city is a lollipop user. So either Toy Toy Candy was wrong about all of them being unique, or maybe Tsumugi caused it, and maybe she just doesn't know about it. Maybe she has like a memory issue, or a double personality. But who knows? It's pretty cool to think about, and I look forward to seeing how it's handled. As for Tsumugi herself, her personality isn't what I expected. Based on her appearance, I assumed she'd be more of a sweet girl who is shy and timid. Here she seems more of the opposite. She seems sweet in the beginning, but she's quite energetic. We see this when she tries to get the cream puff, but sadly they had run out. But luckily someone gives one to her and she gladly accepts it. When she does end up getting it, she ends up screaming in excitement. She's like, "Yes!" I absolutely love that. And I hope the Candy Flurry community uses that panel for when and if the series becomes a hit. Or, really for any type of positive reaction related to the series. It's too good. It's also kind of funny to see that she likes cream puffs too, because, well, she's just like a certain other Shonen Jump protagonist that we know. But yeah. Anyways, she ends up getting attacked by someone, but she easily defends herself. She's a lollipop user, so people will easily mistake her for being the one who destroyed the city. So she has to be discreet about her actions. That means she'll have to take care of any trouble as quickly as she can, which she did. Unfortunately, there was a casualty. She lost her little cream puff. R.I.P. Cream Puff Kun. You will be missed. It's after we're introduced to a new character, Misaki Midori, who is actually from the Rossetti. His weapon is a giant fork, which is kind of funny, and he took care of the rest of the guys there. He then questions Tsumugi, who explains that she just happened to be mixed up in all of that. Afterwards, he gives a proper introduction, and at first I thought he was pretty badass, but he's kind of a dork. It's then we see this moment between Tsumugi and an abandoned pig? Okay, like, why is there an abandoned pig in the street? Who left it there? Why would someone not want to keep this little pig? What type of piece of shit would you have to be to do that? Get back here and get your pig, you jerk! Get him! Anyways, we end up seeing Tsumugi be somewhat mean to the pig, talking about how she won't end up like it and how it's gonna rain, so she doesn't plan to help it out. She says, quote unquote, no one is gonna solve your problems just because you're crying. Which is pretty reflective of how she's been feeling with the fact that she's a lollipop user and how there's nobody that can help her without believing her side of the story. Regardless, I thought it was pretty messed up until you realize that she ended up helping the little piggy by leaving her umbrella, which is nice. I mean, it was a very sweet moment for her. It's then we come to find out that Misaki Midori from the Reset transfers to Tsumugi's class. He's pretty suspicious of her since he believes only a sweet user could have taken down another user. So he totally knows that he suspects her of being an illegal sweets user. Afterwards, we see someone try to confess to Tsumugi, which is actually bothering her quite a bit. That's when we see Misaki try to stand up for her and help her out. And I was like, okay, show them what you're made of. And it's then after he reveals that the Reset doesn't fight against civilians, which leads him to getting his ass kicked. Rip. So much for that, I guess. Then we learn he got a 0 on his test. So he ain't really bright either. What an introduction. At least Tsumugi offers to help him. After a bit of helping, she tries to take a break and offers him some gummies. He doesn't let his guard down, and he proceeds to say that he doesn't even like sweets. This really shocks Tsumugi, while Midori asks how can anyone enjoy them after what happened in Tokyo. And that was actually on my mind when I saw Tsumugi get a cream puff earlier. You'd think that everyone would hate candy and sweets after what happened. But I guess there's still those who do, which, I mean, if I'm being honest, that's pretty impressive. I mean, if somebody destroyed my city with just using sweets, I don't think I would probably ever eat candy again. I mean, I don't know, that's just me. But yeah, Misaki even takes it a step further and says that it's especially lollipops he doesn't like, and he even calls it the devil's candy. This causes Tsumugi to leave, and I mean, obviously she's hurt by those remarks. It's not like she wanted this, and since there's no two of the same users, nobody would ever believe that she's not the lollipop user. That's when she notices that the pig and the umbrella she left behind are both gone, which makes her feel even sadder, and she says that she's even lower than a pig. Poor Tsumugi. It's then the sweets user Tsumugi fought earlier returns, and he comes back way bigger than he was before. He's causing a lot of destruction, so Tsumugi tries to help, but Misaki comes in just in time to help. Tsumugi wonders why'd he do that after he suspects her. He says that it's because it's his duty, and he doesn't want to see anyone suffer because of sweets. He then continues to fight and gives an opening for Tsumugi to leave. She takes the chance to help out and summons her lollipop. It's then we see her attack him with it, which causes him to get knocked out. It's a pretty cool spread if I'm being honest. Like, the art here is really well done, and it's easily my favorite one out of the entire first chapter. But moving back to the chapter, Misaki questions why she'd even reveal her lollipop since it meant that he'd find out who she really is, and she proceeds to say that, quote, it's easier to eat a lollipop when you break it into pieces. And, I mean, I know this is just me, and I get it. The line was meant to be a touching moment, but I just couldn't get it to the line. It seems kind of silly. I know this isn't, I mean, this is meant to be a gag series, but I don't think that line in particular was meant to be comedic. I don't know, it just came off kind of weird, and I don't know, I wasn't really a fan of it. But, I mean, it doesn't bother me much, it just seemed kind of weird. I know it's reflective of what she said in the first chapter, but I just couldn't really get into it. It's just a very weird line. But, like I said, it's just me. Anyways, it's then we see Misaki prepare his weapon to fight against Tsumugi, and the chapter ends with them getting ready to fight. Tsumugi's final line has her say that she's always wanted to tell someone she wasn't a lollipop user. So then we see her summon a weapon as well. So, my impressions. What are they? Well, it's all an alright first chapter. I like Tsumugi as a protagonist, and I like the idea of using sweets as weapons. It's pretty cool and unique. I wasn't really a fan of Misaki though, and didn't like how the first chapter ended in a cliffhanger. I would have been fine with the idea of had it been on any other chapter, but considering this is a new series coming off the fact that quite a bit before it had got canned, it just seemed risky to end what should have been a big introduction to the series to a cliffhanger, hoping you'll be able to attract the same audience back next week. But I mean, who knows? Maybe it'll pay off. For now, I don't particularly like how this chapter ended, but that's not going to stop me from reading it. I'm interested in the world and its sweets users, so I feel like this has a lot of potential to get even better as it goes on, especially with its potential villains. I feel like a lot of the bad guys in the series will have like really cool abilities regarding sweets, so I mean that's really exciting to think about. Plus, since it's a gag series, I feel like I'll also be in for a lot of laughs, so I look forward to seeing some of its more comical moments moving forward. I also think I'll probably end up enjoying Misaki more as the series continues. I mean, it is just the first chapter, so I can't be too harsh on his character. I just gotta remain a bit more patient and see where the author takes him. But yeah, you know, I'm excited to see how things progress forward. I just hope it manages to stay and not get the boot. I would be really bummed out if it just got canned. And I mean, for all we know, it could. I don't want to say, oh, the series is gonna stay for sure. The first chapter was just perfect, but you know, I do have my concerns. But for now, I thought the chapter was alright, and I feel like it has the potential to be way better as we move forward. But yeah. Anyways, here's looking forward to what the future has planned for the series. I'm definitely looking forward to the next chapter, and I look forward to doing more discussions regarding it. So yeah. Here's looking forward to seeing how the story continues, what new characters will be introduced to, and how the world changes thanks to, you know, the fact that there's so many sweets users. We have there's 100 of them, so I look forward to seeing how all of them end up looking, what they do, what their personalities are like, and how they help progress the story. Yeah, so there's a lot to look forward to. So, you know, I can't wait to read it all. So, those are my impressions. I'm hoping for the best for the series, and I can't wait to read the next chapter. So, here's looking forward to what the series has in store.